The Apostle Paul tells us that he will visit the church in Jerusalem before visiting Rome. This is because the churches in Macedonia and Achaia had made a contribution to the church in Jerusalem. The story is recorded in detail in 2 Corinthians 8 and 9. At that time, the church in Jerusalem was suffering from great difficulties due to a famine. So the Apostle Paul told the churches in Macedonia and Achaia to make a contribution. He quotes the manna incident from the Old Testament. The manna incident contains 3 lessons. First, the principle of daily bread. We must depend on God every day. Second, the principle of the Sabbath. We must keep the Sabbath day distinctly. Third, the principle of neighborly love. We must practice the principle of neighborly love. That is why the manna incident ends like this. He who gathered much had nothing left over, and he who gathered little had nothing lacking. This is because the omelette was measured, and the surplus from the one who gathered much was distributed equally to the one who gathered little. And the book of Romans also teaches us this. If the Gentiles have shared in their spiritual things, it is right to serve them in material things. What does this mean? If the Gentiles have received spiritual things, that is, the gospel of Jesus Christ, from the church in Jerusalem, it is right to serve the church in Jerusalem in material things. This is the fellowship of saints and the fellowship of the church that we talk about every time we confess the Apostles' Creed. And it is putting the mystery of the gospel into practice. What does this mean? The gospel has broken down the barrier between us, who were enemies of God, vertically, and it has broken down the barrier between Gentiles and Jews horizontally. Then it is right for the Gentile church to serve the Jewish church in material things. This is because the Gentile church received the gospel from the Jewish church.